Hello, and welcome to this webinar on the case for best in class, introducing the new BST Newforma Connector. My name is John Matthew, and I'm a product director at BST Global, focused on our project pursuit and delivery solutions.
And I'm Aaron Kivett, a technical product manager at Newforma, focused on connectors.
Later on in this webinar, Aaron and I will be sharing with you, for the first time, the BST Newforma Connector. But before we get there, we wanted to start with why we created this connector, keeping your industry in mind, and share some background on our respective companies. While some software providers will prescribe a rip and replace of your existing solutions to move to an all-in-one software system, we believe it's better to provide options. After all, you know what's best for your firm. In creating the BST Newforma Connector, we wanted to give our customers the ability to better leverage the many best-in-class solutions they already use in their architecture, engineering, or construction firms. It's here where we saw an opportunity to help firms connect these best-in-class solutions to create efficiencies and eliminate manual administrative overhead, and ultimately help in creating a digital workplace for your firm. So let's begin with looking at this concept of creating a digital workspace and why we believe this is an important strategic initiative for architecture, engineering, and construction firms like yourselves. While we have seen the workplace shift many times over the past several decades, Deloitte points to three trends that are currently reshaping the work environment towards a digital workplace. The first is an aging workforce. As baby boomers continue to retire and leave the workplace, they're taking key knowledge with them, increasing the need for firms to capture their knowledge before they go. The second is information overload. Information is continuing to grow at exponential rates, and employees are having difficulty finding what they need, even with technological advances. And finally, the need for speed. Today's work environment moves at a rapid pace, and employees need to work faster and collaborate more effectively to get their jobs done and meet client demands. Deloitte defines a digital workplace as encompassing all the technologies people use to get work done in today's workplace. But a digital workplace, according to Deloitte, goes beyond just encompassing these technologies. A digital workplace is fostered by actually integrating them. By integrating the best-in-class technologies that your employees already know and rely on, from email and ERP solutions to HR applications and project information management tools, a digital workplace helps firms break down communication barriers across the enterprise. It positions you to transform the employee experience by fostering efficiency, innovation, and ultimately growth. Beyond this, research shows that companies who integrate their suite of business software solutions, thus creating their digital workplace, can see improved process efficiency across the organization, including up to a 50% improvement in financial closing times. What's more, integrating your best-in-class solutions can help your employees gain back lost time. According to McKinsey, employees spend 19% of their workday searching for and gathering information. Imagine if you could get that time back through increased visibility and streamlined data sharing across your software solutions. But at the end of the day, creating a digital workplace comes down to giving your employees what they need, providing them with the tools to collaborate, communicate, and connect with each other. To do this, you must leverage a holistic digital strategy and coordinate your technology groups and investments to avoid the traps of siloed implementations and disparate ownership. So now that we've spent some time talking about why to connect your best-in-class solutions, we'd like to introduce you to our two companies whose solutions are built specifically for AEC firms and set the stage for showing you how we have integrated our solutions through the BST Newforma Connector to help you advance project visibility, create internal efficiencies, and manage project risk. Let me first introduce BST Global, and then Aaron will introduce Newforma. At BST Global, we only do one thing. which is deliver business management software to architecture, engineering, and environmental consultancies. We've been doing this for over 47 years. We currently have 5 offices globally and are headquartered in Tampa, Florida. We have a hub for sales, services, and support right outside of London in the UK, and offices in the Netherlands, Singapore, and Australia. Our software is being used in 65 countries, and we currently have over 100,000 A&E users that leverage our product every day. Here's a sampling of some of the firms who use BST solutions and who we have the honor of calling clients. This slide captures the diversity of our broader client base in terms of firm size, global location, and service offerings, while also representing our focus on serving architecture, engineering, and environmental consultancies. Looking back at our earlier concept of the digital workplace, we have put this concept in the context of the AEC industry, creating this example of what a digital workplace might look like for your firm. You have this ecosystem of solutions, from HCM to file management to CRM and ERP. How can you integrate those solutions to make them more efficient and more powerful and bring added value to your firm? This notion of integration is a key area of focus for BST right now. And our partnership with Newforma, along with the BST Newforma Connector, are direct results of this strategic direction for our company. With that, let me hand things over to Aaron so that he can introduce Newforma.
Thanks, John. BST's focus on design customers is part of why Newforma is excited to be working with BST on this integration. Like BST, we're also a global company, founded in 2004 with 6 global offices. Perhaps the number we're most proud of, though, is our 96% renewal rate. Our software is sold on a subscription, so we have to earn our customers' business each year. So let's look at what we do to keep our customers happy. Newforma Project Center brings together project information from many disparate locations into a single view of your project data. We index your project files wherever they reside, in your project folder on the file server, or in various cloud file systems or electronic document management systems. We don't force you to move your data into a different system and change your users' workflows. We then enable access to your project information anywhere you are, using our mobile apps, web applications, and powerful cloud-based APIs. Our deep integration with Microsoft Outlook enables your project teams to easily archive their email along with all of their other project information. Our new connector to BST will allow users of both systems to streamline management and leverage the wealth of information stored within their ERP system. Our focus on design also means that we connect to many of the applications that your project teams use every day. And finally, we're continuing to build our connector portfolio with new connectors released each quarter. Our thousands of users rely on our project-focused approach to save both time and money on every project that they work on. We're experts in helping architects and engineers manage the huge amount of project information they deal with on a daily basis. So next, we're going to take a look at what the BST Newforma Connector is actually going to do for you. In your ERP system, projects are created and managed. As those projects are created, those projects will automatically be synchronized into your Newforma Project Information Management System. So as those projects are created, they're available immediately to your project teams for use in Newforma. The employees, contacts, clients, and vendors that are added to your projects are also synchronized into Newforma so that the project teams are kept up to date. If any of this information changes, like the project name, a project manager, or a contact's phone number, that information is also automatically kept up to date within Newforma. This process simplifies and streamlines the management of your project information management system. So now to give us a quick demo of how BST projects are set up and managed, I'm going to hand it back over to John.
Thanks, Aaron. As you've just heard, the BST Newforma Connector ties together data in BST 10 and Newforma Project Center, with BST 10 as a source for projects and related information. So to demonstrate how this connector functions, let's start in BST 10. When a project manager logs into BST 10, one of their common starting points is the PM dashboard. This dashboard summarizes and highlights to me the status and direction of the projects in my portfolio, and is one of the many role-based dashboards that BST 10 provides to project delivery professionals in an AE firm. In the top of the screen here, you can see that I'm managing 59 projects, and those projects are going to be listed here. This project scorecard is a very powerful snapshot of how my project portfolio is doing. And it also gives me a lot of flexibility in terms of how I might want to look at my portfolio. For example, I have the ability to choose which columns of information I want to display in my scorecard. And I have the ability to choose from a number of different attributes of the project, as well as metrics on a project. I also have the ability to move columns around left to right to order this information in a way that makes sense to me. Different columns also support filtering so that I can pare down the information I'm looking at to just subsets of my portfolio that meet specific criteria that I have in mind. And I also have the ability to sort on any of these columns, including this ability to sort on something we call variance in BST, which is the ability to look at how my projects are doing from a revenue position compared to the effort that they've incurred. Variance essentially will tell me if my project is currently over budget, on budget, or under budget. In this case, I can see that I have a project with a negative variance, and I can then take advantage of my PM dashboard and all of the visualizers below the project scorecard to take a look at this particular project in more detail. And so as we look at some of these visualizers, the first one that I see here on the left side is the Earned Value Analysis visualizer. This shows me a trend of the revenue position on my project compared to the effort position on my project, as well as where I'm planning or forecasting this project to go. And so what I can see here is that based on the difference between effort and revenue over the time frame in this visualizer, I've had this variance condition for some time. To the right, I can see another visualizer that shows me how my project is doing plan versus actual. And I can get an idea of how good my plan is and where things are headed. Another powerful part of the PM dashboard, as I scroll through my projects and look at these additional visualizers for a particular project, is that some of these visualizers are what we call exception-based. That is, they will just show me the aspects of a particular project that are in an exception condition, not the entire project. For example, this active tasks with negative variance visualizer shows me out of my project and all of the tens or even hundreds of tasks that it might have, it shows me just the 3 tasks that have a negative variance, which are the tasks that I may want to take a closer look at. I can not only look at things from a financial perspective, BST 10 gives me schedule performance insight as well. And so I can see here in the active tasks behind schedule, a couple of tasks on my project that are not tracking according to my project plan. Finally, the last 2 visualizers giving me insight into the billing performance of my project. I can see that I have a few tasks on my project that have unbilled transactions on them that likely require me to send out a new invoice to my client. I can also see on the receivables aging visualizer that I have a couple of outstanding invoices on my project that I still need to collect. So in sum, this project management dashboard is a landing spot for project managers to quickly get their arms around their project portfolio and then drill into individual projects to get more detailed ideas of status and where issues may reside. Another thing I can do from this dashboard is I can open up projects, navigate to them in more detail, and even maintain them. And so I have a project already open on the second tab. And what I'd like to do is give you a quick tour through our project experience. As we look at a project in BST 10, you'll see how BST 10 provides a unified project experience that encompasses the breadth and depth of business considerations that go into initiating and maintaining consulting projects. Given the amount of functionality that is available, BST 10 also provides you with the ability to organize this project experience into different views that are appropriate to the different roles that may interact with projects. The view that I am currently looking at is the default view. And this is what we see most end users working with when they go to manage a project. I have different sections here underneath my info tab, such as the general section where I can see the name of the project, I can associate the project with a client, I can even categorize the project into different categories like work type or market segment. Below the general area, I have a responsibility section, which allows me to associate this project to a company and organization within my firm that owns this project, as well as associate a project manager, project director, and even a project administrator to this project. The project controls area of the info tab allows me to manage a series of options that give me control over how I want to financially, as well as from a schedule perspective, control this project. I can associate a location to this project in terms of where the work is being done. I can also associate contacts to this project that might represent members of the project client that I'm working with as we deliver this work. I can even associate or see the opportunity that's already associated with this project that was won and then resulted in this project being awarded. The pricing tab of the project experience allows me to manage the pricing terms that I have agreed to with my client and are encapsulated in the contract. These can include labor terms, multipliers, and bill rate schedules, for example, as well as expense terms and even unit terms for projects that will require unit pricing. The Tasks tab is where I can set up the work breakdown structure of a project in BST 10. We have a very flexible work breakdown structure in BST 10, one that allows me to set up a project as simple as just the project itself, as well as a work breakdown structure that supports differing levels of depth. For example, in this project, I've taken my work breakdown structure to a level 3 of depth, where I see tasks like design development and schematic design. This is just one example of how you can set up a project in BST. Again, you can create projects that are much simpler than this, as well as more elaborate than this. Our work breakdown structure actually supports up to 10 levels of depth. And we provide an integrated Gantt chart experience so that as a project manager, as I'm laying out my work breakdown structure, I can either enter in my start and finish dates or just manage them through this interactive Gantt chart experience to visually see the sequence of tasks that I'm building up. We also have integrated resourcing capabilities, where I can build up my project team and actually assign them across my work breakdown structure. In BST 10, we support different kinds of resourcing. I can resource my project with specific employees like Mark and Pat here across various tasks. I can also resource my project with generic labor resource classes in situations where I, as a project manager, may not know exactly who is going to work on the project, but I know the type of employee I need on the project that might later be swapped out with a specific employee as we get closer to the work being done. We also support non-labor resourcing, including vendors and expense resource classes, if that's a material part of the project plan. And as a project manager, I can even take advantage of a very powerful resource assistant capability where I can not only do quick searches and selections of resources, but more advanced searches where I can look for employees across the whole database for my firm by a variety of attributes, including the company they belong to, the discipline they're associated with, their location, and other attributes here. And so BST 10 supports a very integrated and robust resource management capability set that is part and parcel of the project experience. Beyond resourcing, we also have capabilities that allow the budgeting of the project and even earned value management through project execution. But again, we also appreciate that some of your users might not need all of this functionality. And so we also provide a different experience called the Simple View that pairs this functionality back to just 3 tabs for those projects or project managers who may not take advantage of all of that functionality. Going in the other direction, we also provide an extended view. For other folks in your firm, most often your project accountants or project billers, who will round out the project setup process by completing the billing side of the project setup. Either way, as a project manager, when I'm creating the project, or ultimately downstream in our workflow as the project is being reviewed and finalized, all I need to do is just submit the project, and when it completes its workflow in BST 10, it will then become a project not only in the BST 10 database for a number of purposes, but it will also be available to Newforma for project information management. So with that, let me turn the demo over to Aaron so that he can show you how this project information flows into Newforma.
Thanks, John. So now that the project has been set up and created in BST, the project is also now available here automatically within Newforma. If I open up that project, I can see the Newforma project home screen. It contains icons for all of the different activity centers within Newforma. Also, as part of that integration with BST, we've created the project folder out on the network with whatever project folder structure template that project needed. So the project's ready to go and to be used in Newforma, as well as the project team. So as John was setting up those resources in his budget, those team members are already here within Newforma. If their contact information changes in BST, that information will automatically be pushed back into Newforma. As a Newforma user, I can start filing email into that project. So here from Outlook, if I would like to file this email here from the contractor, I can very quickly just drag and drop it into that SkyDome project. And that email will be filed into the Newforma project automatically. After I've used the project for a little while, and maybe I'm looking for some information stored within it, I can use Newforma's search tool to very quickly find information through emails or files anywhere within that project. The Newforma to BST connector streamlines management of this process. The projects are automatically set up and ready to go so that your project teams can begin using Newforma's project information management tools immediately. So John, I'm going to hand it back to you so you can give us a nice ending to the webinar here.
Great, thanks, Aaron. In closing, we're excited about the BST Newforma Connector. It's a solution that advances project visibility by providing real-time, synchronized access to all business, file, and email information for your projects, and establishes a single source of truth for your project portfolio. The BST Newforma Connector also creates internal efficiencies as it eliminates manual data reentry and helps you manage project risk by giving you access to all the information surrounding a project, not just what's shared with you. If you have any questions or are looking for additional information, please contact your BST or Newforma account manager. Alternatively, feel free to drop Aaron or myself a line, and we'll get you connected accordingly. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.